Welcome back, everyone. It's been 12 long years. I'm Tyler. The guy on the other, to the right or left of me is Chris, depending on which way he's swinging these days. Chris?
Hello. Hello, Tyler. I'd like to thank our faithful audience for staying with us over this long 12 years. It's 12 years of heavy lifting, folks, and I really appreciate that you're coming on board to help me carry this motherfucker.
I wouldn't really say carrying, but I mean, basically doing all the work is me, and Chris just carries his own weight around. If I don't know if you noticed, I think his head's gotten bigger since 12 years ago, since the last time some of you may have seen him.
It's the burden of talent.
I don't know about talent. All right, folks. Well, I've had a night so far, so we're just getting settled here. We can dive right into the Oilers. Chris, give me your thoughts on last night's game.
Before I do, a little bit of context, folks.
No, I don't want to hear your context.
Our friend Tyler is a little bit hangry because he ordered a pie an hour and a half ago, and the delivery guy got mad at him because Tyler had some issues with the fact that it wasn't going to be fresh. I think they just ditched you, and now you just ordered Uber. We've been waiting an hour for this guy to be ready. I want to eat before the show.
Yeah, so I didn't get to eat, folks. I had 3 Rice Krispie Squares. That's
lucky for you guys, he crushed 3 Rice Krispie Squares. So fresh as a daisy, our Tyler.
Something like that. Yeah.
So last night,
Chris, let's go. Let's hear your thoughts about last night, and I'll tell you where you're wrong and where you're right, and probably more of the wrong than the right.
You're gonna tell me you're the authority, are you? Yeah, that makes sense.
I've forgotten more about hockey than you know.
Oh my God, it starts. Anything we say about last night's game, we gotta identify the fact that Winnipeg is a very disciplined team that plays a very strict structure and system. And I'm not going to give them too much credit, but their goalie is heavily overrated for the very reason of that structure and that system. It's a classic thing. Like Skinner is he's taking a lot of arrows today because, he let in a soft year too, but it's kind of hard not to when you're sort of left dangling by your team. We were very disjointed. The D came as advertised. We had 3, 5, 6 Ds out of the 6 that we dressed, and I think 2 6s and 1 5 Kulak. It was a shame.
You think we have 2 6s on the bottom pairings?
Yeah.
We have an 8 and a 7.
Yeah, actually, that's probably a better way to put it. Really, I had to feel a little bit for Emberson. The kid's only played 30 games, and everybody's sort of hailing him as the next CC. That's not a huge compliment, but when you've only played 30 games in the league and CC's got as much experience under his belt, it might seem like a little bit of a ladder for him to climb. And he looked nervous. And that's not what you want for a young defenseman. Frankly, I hope that Coffey does his magic on him. I hope that they maybe don't dress him as a number 4, dress him as a number 6 beside Kulak next game. Get Stetcher in there.
Chris, sorry to interrupt, but who do they dress? They don't have. Dermott's not good. Stetcher's not good. Emerson's obviously not good. You know what they have to do? Let them play more than 37 minutes with a partner. They didn't even play 37 minutes, but game time.
Yeah.
And instead of making changes, why is Dry playing with McDavid in the third period? It's 100%. Nothing.
100% agree with that. Why don't you, even if they're not playing well, what is this, fucking game 70 and you want to win the division? You're gonna put them together. It's game 1. These guys have barely played together, abbreviated preseason, and you got Dry playing with McDavid. You got to the game's out of reach. Arvidsson and Skinner. Arvidsson had a good game, by the way, but that unit wasn't clicking, and the only way that they start to click is by giving them reps. So
yep, I agree 100%.
I don't know how when the game's 5-0, you're starting the third, that you don't just fucking keep it all together. Even keep Emerson with Nurse. It doesn't matter. You're not winning that game. Not the way Winnipeg's playing. So give them the reps. the reps that Emberson and Nurse didn't get in the preseason, where they had one game together. You know, like sometimes the best lesson is failing, right? In my opinion.
Yeah, I look at it as this. The hype train around the Oilers might be unjust. I won't be commenting on that until after Sunday. I want to see 2 more games. But where were the New York Rangers hype train? They won the President's Trophy last year.
Yeah.
They didn't lose anyone.
Yeah, that team remarkably intact, isn't it? And they got some really young studs.
Yeah,
Like
the Oilers, the Rangers are laughing about all these press clippings the Oilers are getting, and Winnipeg, they finished third in the West.
yeah,
People forget about that. Winnipeg was a good
Rangers.
team.
Yeah, you know what though about Winnipeg though is that they play playoff hockey game 1 of the regular season, and they don't have the offensive firepower to match everybody. Everybody plays defense. Everybody plays defensive hockey in the playoffs, and they catch up to Winnipeg. So what does it come down to? It comes down to depth scoring, and it comes down to whether or not you have guys that can take advantage of the rare offensive opportunities that offer themselves. They're not that team. So they can win the President's Trophy, or they could get 110 points like they did last year, every year, and they're not gonna go deeper than 2 rounds, in my opinion. But New York's a different story. New York is very much like we were when Vegas won the Cup, aren't they? Or when Colorado won the Cup, where you go, you know what, guys, we came that close. Like that New York Florida series. What did that go? 7? Did it go 7 games?
I can't remember if it was 6 or 7.
Yeah. Well,
Let me
they
check
hung
into
in
that for you
there.
right now.
I think they were outclassed by the Panthers. I don't think it went 7 because I think they were waiting for us. Regardless, New York's a young team. They still have a lot of room to grow. They're right fucking there. Don't be surprised if we see them in the final.
It
If we
was
actually,
6 games.
yeah, if we actually make it to the final, it's like fuck. But the one
Yeah,
thing that we can't have is a repeat of last year.
no, and that's why I'm really hoping they bounce back against Chicago, who is not a good hockey club. They're not. Like their power play
Chicago?
2.
Um,
Their power play 2 has Pat Maroon on it.
yeah, like fuck. I mean, is Taylor Hall healthy this year? Is he playing?
Yeah, he's playing. He looked better than last year when he was sitting in the press box last night or 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you know what? And like, say I really don't think that we're going to spank either team, but I'm pretty sure that we'll beat them. But even if we do, and even if we did spank them, it's a false positive because you're not playing anybody thick. In fact, the Oilers are pretty lucky that we have these 2 teams next up on the schedule because they didn't bring their lunch pails last night, and the game that they showed us was far from the game that took them to the Stanley Cup Finals. They played with they were so disjointed. And like, how many of the goals last night were odd man rushes? Forwards weren't back picking up. Nobody could make a fucking outlet
McDavid's
pass.
stat line was 0-0-0-0-0-0-0-0.
Yeah,
Yeah, he had one nice little rush when he tried to split the D, but
he had that one with Hyman where he should have shot, but
I just look at all these problems that they're having. I'm like, they had no time to practice any of this stuff because they had to play 8 fucking preseason games.
yeah, isn't it true that a lot of teams only played 6?
Yeah, 5 to 6.
So why the fuck are we playing 8? Like,
Because the
really,
greedy motherfuckers that own the OEG.
well, that's really shitty because yeah, they could have used a little bit more work on their defensive zone play and their
Systems, everything.
yeah, big time systems because they got way out system last night. They can and I think though too is that like where's the commitment? Like you know, did you see a lot of try? I got to say I like Puck Olson's game. I
Yeah.
like Perry's game.
I thought Perry
Henrique
looked faster last night than he did all last year. I thought he had a little extra jump in his step.
same with Arvidsson. Arvidsson looked really good to me. And it's going to take a while for guys to develop chemistry, but you know what? When you haven't yet to develop chemistry, you fucking fall back on the system. You know where you need to be, you know where you need to go, you know who you need to cover, and you come back and support. It's a 5-man unit. That's what it's been since Knobloch came here after the shit show last year. And we certainly weren't playing 5-man, and we were very disjointed.
No, I agree with all that, my friend.
Mhm.
It's unfortunate that 2 years in a row, the Edmonton Oilers and their lack of preparedness or whatever they had for the preseason ruined my Wednesday night in early October. 2 years in a row. I mean,
Yeah.
like we all gear up. Yeah, I had a tough time watching the Prime series with McDavid. Like that was tough. And then to see this shithole performance last night, like, ugh,
I was so excited too. Fuck. Anyway,
no, and
let me ask you this. We had, to my way, by my count, I think we had 5 new guys in the lineup last night. So
yeah,
what did we
I
dress?
honestly,
We
I think
dressed.
that's part of it. But again,
What did we
have more
dress?
practices.
We dressed 19 guys, five of whom were new. What I want to know from you, what I want is your opinion. Grade them A, B, C, D, E. Each guy, and we'll start at the top. Jeff Skinner.
Well, he had four shot. He had 10 shot attempts. I think 4 hit the net.
Yep.
So I mean, he's been advertised as an even strength scorer. He didn't get any power play time really.
Nothing of note.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna give him a B minus just because if you get that many shot attempts 5-on-5, you're gonna score 30 goals eventually. So I'm gonna go B minus for Mr. Jeff Skinner.
He's a streaky scorer too, so you got to be patient with him. But I didn't I didn't see a lot of try from him. I didn't see him winning a lot of puck battles, so hardcore C for me. Um, moving on to
That's not
Arvidsson.
his game. Hold on, that's not Skinner's game. He's not there to get in the corners and battle. That's not Skinner's game.
Yeah, but you got to
Sorry.
retrieve. You got to retrieve pucks in the corner. Like fuck, that's
No,
that's
that's not.
everyone's
It's never
job.
been his game. That's never been his game.
Like
In
so,
in
just stand
Carolina,
there
in
and not.
Buffalo,
So just stand there and
that's
not
not his
retrieve
game.
pucks, not win
He
puck
does not.
battles
That's
in the
not his
corner.
game.
Let the defenseman
That's
have
not
it
his
and
game.
fucking dish it.
That's it. He does
Like,
not go in the corners.
so why is he in the NHL if his game is not retrieving pucks in the corner when you're
He
fucking in
scores
your own
80
zone?
points a year. He gets 80 points a year.
What, just standing there? He
Five on
doesn't
five.
retrieve pucks in the corner? Fucking
No,
dummy.
he's making $3 million this year. What are you clearing? There he is.
Like, fuck off. Like, fuck you. Yeah, like, I'm not, you got to admit though, like, those 50-50 puck goes in the corner. I mean, you're playing with
So
Draisaitl.
you said, hold on. Here, I'm going to end
He
this
wants you
early.
to give him the puck so he can give it back to you. And you're not even
So
fucking,
you
you're
said hard
losing all these
C.
battles.
I don't want to talk about Jeff Skinner anymore. I want to give him more games. He played in a shitty Buffalo team for 7 years and a
Me
shitty
too.
Carolina team.
He gets all the benefit of the doubt in the world
So
from me. I'm
hold on.
just
You
saying,
gave him a C. I gave him a
I
B
got a problem.
minus.
I got
Let's
a
call it a
problem with,
C plus and call it a day. C plus.
no,
Come
fuck
together
you.
for me.
Fuck off.
Well, then go.
Just fuck off.
Who do
Like,
you want to talk about
like,
next section? We'll call him a C plus Skinner.
he's an NHL forward, and it's not his job to retrieve pucks in the corner. Like, you're already hitting it out of the park, motherfucker.
C plus Skinner.
Like, dumb.
He
All right,
doesn't
so
retrieve pucks. He does not.
Yeah, Arvidsson, fuck off.
He retrieves pucks.
Of course he does.
Arvidsson?
Like an NHL forward. Who plays in
Arvidsson
the
was a B
NHL is supposed
plus.
to.
Arvidsson was a B plus.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'll give him a B plus. He didn't like he had it looked like he had the most try on that line. Leon's gonna get double teamed. And it looked like he was there to be that he battled. He looked pretty good to my eye. It didn't look like he took a single shift off, and that impressed me right away. If he can stay healthy for 81 more games, we're going to be really lucky, and we're going to enjoy watching him too. He seems like a lunch pail Edmonton type guy. So I was going to say B, but you can have the B plus. I don't want you to say anything
I
stupid.
think he's
I'm
fine.
actually at the point
really
where I feel
noticed.
sorry for you, so I don't want to disagree with you because you're going to end up saying something stupid again.
Well, I have to say, I only saw him a couple of highlights in preseason, but watching him last night, he is tinier than he is advertised.
Oh, I know. He's thick, but he's
definitely
short.
tinier.
What does he come out at? 5'9"?
They say 5'9.5", but I think he's more like 5'8", 5'7".
5'8", yeah. All right, so next up on the docket, I think we got Podkolzin.
I'm gonna give him an A minus.
Oh, okay. I was gonna give him an A.
A minus. I think he was every shift he was hitting, chasing pucks down, retrieving pucks. He played his role in the fourth line perfectly. And like honestly, I think with Perry teaching him this stuff, I think he's really gonna take leaps and bounds and be in a different room, different organization. I think it's gonna be good. I think A- first game. That's my
I think he and Perry made each other look good. It looked like Perry really stood up to keeping up with the kid. Um, they were on the ice, I think, for the first goal against, but they were hemmed in a long time. And I mean, if your D's overwhelmed, that's going to happen. But other than that, I mean, I think they spent way more time in the O zone, and that's what your fourth line's supposed to do. And Paul Colson was a huge part of that with the laying of the body and whatnot. It's only going to be it's not going to be too long before his hands follow. So I'm looking forward to watching him. I'm a big fan of his. So hopefully it continues. We certainly need him. What do we got? Dermott and we'll start with Emberson.
Emerson.
Yeah.
F.
An FA.
Yeah.
Fuck. Ooh.
I honestly, it's like his first time ever playing for a good team, and he looked like a fucking chicken running around with his head cut off.
Yeah, he looked a little nervous in the first period for sure. Maybe the whole game actually, but it wasn't long before they were overwhelmed because the forwards fell away from the structure. Like we had a good 5-10 minutes, and then it went to shit. I think guys started taking shifts off. That's going to overwhelm anybody, especially a young kid who's maybe being asked to play above where he should be in the roster. So, kind of like you, I should be harder on him, but I'll be a little sympathetic and give him a D. So, there's a
I
lot
don't
of
even
real
like how to
estate.
respond to that. Like,
There's a lot of
what
real
if
estate between
he
the
didn't
F
do
and the
anything to
D.
deserve that?
Like, I don't know. Like F is, I don't know. Like F would be Sam Marukov's only game with the Oilers where he played like 2 minutes and they got benched the rest of the game. That's an F. I think that they were wise, even though I said earlier that they should have kept him and Nurse together in the third just to help with the chemistry. I think maybe when a kid's getting shell shocked, it might be wise to shield him a little bit with the third pairing. But I really hope that they go back with him because if a kid's nervous game one, that's a fragile bit of confidence, and I don't think that you want to risk his game blowing up. Like you don't want to Jack Campbell him, and the kid's afraid to step on the ice. And I know Coffey won't do that, but you got to give him time out there, in my
We're
opinion.
talking about last night's game, though. Last night's
I
great
know,
game.
I know.
I don't understand why he
But
deserve a D. Maybe his D, like you're being a dumbass.
he outlet some stuff and there's some chemistry issues too. You have to think of that, like with him and Nurse, and I don't know. I mean, he wasn't afraid to get his nose in there. He took a few hits to make a play. So I mean, just on effort, I didn't like his game, but I'm gonna give him a D. So fuck off. Dermott.
D-. Only he only gets a D-. It's because he was slightly better than Ty Emberson.
Well, I agree. He was slightly better. I give him a D plus.
Like I want to talk about him quickly. 31 other teams didn't want him. He came here on a PTO, looked okay, but no one wanted him. So anyone think that the reason he signed a two-way deal with a $500,000 guarantee is because he ain't gonna be here. Like the Oilers have a plan, not to be here. Like he is literally just here to fill a hole, and hopefully we can win 55% of our games until we get accrue enough cap space to bring in a D-man.
So are we gonna bench him next game, or like what do you do next game? You're the coach.
I think Stetcher gets in. I think you sit Emberson out just to give him a look at the game from above, like an NHL speed game.
Yeah. Every point counts. I would agree with that as long as the kid gets the message.
Yeah, just one game. They're playing back to backs.
Yeah. That sounds fair. And I think we could have used Stetcher's composure last night. Because there was way too often we looked overwhelmed. That transition game kicked the shit out of us. And that was one of the things that we did really well last year in the playoffs is our own. So fuck man, a lot to clean up. But luckily it's only game one. I don't want to be having this conversation on Tuesday. Fuck. Like
Neither do I.
Yeah. So what's this like do we like when do you hit the panic button? I know I don't want to like we'll probably be talking about this in 2 weeks anyways, but like everybody knew that our D wasn't really a Stanley Cup winning D at the beginning of the year here. And there was a lot more wrong with our game last night than our defensemen for sure. But like, do you give it 10 games and like I don't know, what do you do with that? Like you
Sorry, I
think
had a bug in
about
my throat there, folks. No one likes dead air. I'm saying if we're not 3-2 at the worst, come out of the first 5 games, I think you're panicking then.
Yeah.
I think you don't have a choice. You have to hopefully just convince Kane to stay hurt and spend that $5 million. Fuck it.
The other thing is like we should very seriously be playing for like at least like the divisional title, like just for more home playoff games, like home ice advantage.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, it's hard to imagine losing the Stanley Cup final in Game 7 if it was being played in our barn. And so for management to think, well, we could wait till the season's 3/4 of the way done before we make a move. That's putting a lot of weight on a lot of shoulders that maybe can't bear it, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree, my friend. But I mean, like, who do they try and trade for as a defenseman? I mean, I know everyone's been talking about already, but like, who's
But
who's
by
an
the way,
expiring deal?
you got your ear to the ground a little more than I do. Like, what was like, where did that Cam Fowler shit come from? You know,
Well, he wanted to play on a winning team. He's never played on one.
was that it? And so they just said Edmonton, or did like who threw that name out there?
It's been
That was
out. It's been out
about
there
2
for a
weeks
couple of
ago.
years. No, it came out a couple of years ago too.
I don't know, like the local guys, like I don't know, Staples or Low Tide or some other fellas, like guys were talking about it. Maybe it was Saravalli. I don't know. I'm not sure. But guys were talking about Cam Fowler, and I'm like, well, he's a left shot, first of all. And I mean, I don't doubt his skill. He's good with the outlet pass, but like I didn't really see a fit. And I don't think he's the white knight that's gonna get us over the goal line either. If we traded for him at the deadline. Like I'm looking at not Doughty specifically, but a Doughty type, you know. Eats minutes, plays big, good outlet, that kind of stuff. I don't know. We got a whole season to talk about it, or 3/4 anyway. But I just hope we're not talking about our shitty D like 10 games from now.
I don't want to be talking about the past 4 games. I want us to turn around and have two good games. I don't care against lesser teams. I just want to see a better effort and wins.
Going back to what I said earlier too, though, like especially nowadays in the NHL, like defense is a team game, and it's not a coincidence that Hellebuck won the Vezina last year behind a team that plays with such structure. I mean, like you get the Vezina because you're the biggest goalie in front of the best defense. That's pretty much it. Like you're not seeing him make acrobatic saves too often or anything like that.
No, but his footwork. But no, I disagree. His footwork is 10 times better than every other goalie. He's like Skinner. Sometimes is all over the place. Like that goal in the Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, they scored to take the lead. The second goal. That's all positioning and footwork. That's what people can be better. But
Okay, I'll give you that. I think as good as he might be, I think he's overrated. And I think for the very same reason that everybody said that Stuart Skinner shit the bed last night. It's all like nowadays again, especially it's all about Team D, and we definitely didn't have it last night. So is your pizza here? Okay, you're a little distracted there, T.
Yeah, just you try and order directly from a store, and it takes an hour and 45 minutes not to get food, and then when you use Uber Eats, your food shows up in 24 minutes.
Yeah,
For the
is it
same
actually?
place,
Do you have
same
to go
restaurant.
like where you live? Do you got to go all the way around, or do you like the
No,
guy?
no, they come right to me.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Um, so I don't know. I don't even know how to do this with the pause. Like, can you hang in there or what? You can eat on the thing. I don't think anyone's
Yeah, I'm
gonna
just gonna
care.
turn my camera off.
Yeah, that's all right. Um, so I wanted to ask you about the season preview here.
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about what our expectations are, but I mean, I think we hold off till next Tuesday. I don't know what the listeners think, but I think let's see what we got. Let's see what we have in these first 3 games, because my head's so clouded with how shitty they played in that first game.
That was overwhelmingly shitty, wasn't it? Like, fuck. Like I don't know how the team could get worse than that. But like what didn't go wrong? I guess is a better question. I think we highlighted some of that. Like Perry that fourth line looked really good. In fact, the third line was our best line in my opinion. Those guys played good shift after good shift. I feel like the top 2 lines, they weren't committed to the team game. They weren't committed to the structure. And I don't care if your name's McDavid, Draisaitl, certainly Skinner. As much as or you understand the team game, like your instincts are offensive. That's why you're like the top scorers in the league, top players in the league. So when it comes down to defense, there's got to be a commitment there. And again, like who on earth would I be to criticize these guys? But I wonder about whether or not game 1 out of potentially 105 odd games, that commitment's there, and maybe you hope that you can score your way out of it, because it looked like we cheated quite a bit. That second goal, I think, where Nurse pinched on the guy and it was sort of a 2-on-1 on Emerson. That
was Emerson's fault. He was in bad positioning.
I don't know. It was like Nurse pinched at the blue line, but the reason why, like coaches who coach teams that play our system preach standing guys up at the blue line is because you're a 5-man unit and the forwards should be there to support you. And nobody was there. Like McDavid was in the picture after the goal was scored coming back. And that's not going to win you anything, much less the playoffs. So there was a shit ton wrong last night, and like, fuck, there's no point in talking about it.
But I mean, and that's the thing. That's why I mean, the season preview for me is hard to do right now because I'm so clouded with like, even how bad McDavid looked last night.
Yeah, well, I feel like maybe we're cheating a little bit. But actually, you know what? I wanted to make a point. One of my biggest fucking pet peeves, and if I ever do this, like, and I don't think I ever did on our previous episodes on this podcast, but if I fucking ever do this, like, call me out right away. But a guy goes, "Oh no, this is what's gonna happen," and then miraculously, whatever that fucking guy says does happen. And then it's like, after it happens, it goes, "See, I told you. See, I told you." You never have that fucking guy going, like the 20 times he was wrong against the one that he was right, going, "Oh yeah, I was wrong." But it's like the one time you get it right, you're fucking Kreskin. God, that pisses me off. So
Me too, man. No one ever owns up to their mistakes. They're always trying to be the hero.
I fucking called it. I called it. Oh, fuck me. Like, if that crystal ball really worked, you wouldn't be fucking talking to me. You'd be making money on the fucking books. Like, fuck the fuck off. I fucking hate that. Sorry. Like, it just bugs the hell. It's a pet peeve of mine. So rest assured, folks, you're not going to ever say, oh, I called it. Most of the stuff that I say is pretty obvious. Like, it's not like I'm reading any tea leaves. You can apply a little bit of previous knowledge or whatever to my takes, but
And I mean, like, I want to talk a little bit about what you thought of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins last night.
he was a disappointment. Fuck, I hate to say it. Everybody loves that guy, but he caused that first goal, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think that maybe he like, I don't know. I don't want to read too much into it, but like, like the guy's a defensive conscience of the team. And it's like, I wonder if early on, if the guy's a defensive conscience of the team and your conscience says, don't worry about it, have another slice of cake. You go, oh, okay, I guess I will. If you see him pulling the shoot early, does that maybe impact the other guys in the lineup?
I think so. I really do. I think when you see a
Again,
guy
we're
like
not in the
Nuge,
locker room. Yeah.
a guy like Nuge not looking 100%, not giving 100%, and especially if you're Connor Brown, who's a second-year player, you're like, oh, this guy's been here forever. He's not going to go.
And I get it though too. Like, that's the temptation, eh? Like, fuck, when I played, I used to do that. Like, not that I was that good, but there's a temptation, where you're like, you know what, I can score my way out of this. But sure they scored, but we can get a couple real quick, get a power play, we're good. And that's like a line of thinking that creeps its way into a guy's habits and the way the guy hits the ice. So I don't know. I worry a little bit about that. I think Nuge didn't have a very good game. You asked me for a reason. What's your take?
I hate to say it, but he is 31 now.
Ooh.
Yeah. He turns 32 in April.
Yep.
Is he now like just losing a step, or his brain slowing down? He's not at the level of a Turbo McDavid, so he's going to slow down a little sooner. Is this the start? Like, I'm not saying he's going to slow down to be like a 20-point guy, but is he going to slow down to be a 50-point guy, third line minutes, or is he going to be back up there rocking and rolling with McDavid and Hyman?
I think we're further away from that than next game. It's one game, Tyler. Like, fuck, you didn't lose everything in like 3 months. You got.
Well, did he? But maybe he did.
It's one fucking game. Like, wow.
This is my whole point of this all, folks. I wanted him to admit that. This is why I can't do season previews, because I'm going to be so disjointed, because I'm so bitter about how bad they played and ruined my Wednesday night for the second week of October, 2 years in a row. And
like, maybe if someone had told them before the game that they'd have ruined your night, then maybe they would have tried harder. Right?
Well, and it's like
they don't
they
know
screw the fans over. And like another thing I want to, they screw the fans over. 8 o'clock start. All plastered everywhere. Tell the day of the game. Then in little fine print in the press release, 8:17 puck drop.
Yeah.
Like, come on, NHL. Come on, Oilers. You're charging $19 for a beer. What? $18 for a Vizzy? I can get a 12-pack of Vizzies for $18.
Yeah. You know what else that really impressed me, speaking of the crowd, is like, people were still cheering in the third, and that game was like fucking way out of reach.
They were definitely still cheering. I made it nice.
I was proud of my fellow Oiler fans for their commitment to the team. It would have been nice to see it reciprocated on the product on the ice, but hopefully the guys learn their lesson and we can look forward to a great game on Saturday. Yeah, again, it's the Blackhawks, it's the Flames. It's a false positive, but speaking of the Flames, that was a hell of a game last night against.
Great comeback win. They showed real heart.
Yeah, that new coach of theirs and that team, they got a lot of youngsters that actually want to be there and give a fuck. So, they might be a tough out. They might be a tougher out than we're giving them credit for. I mean, they don't have the goaltending, but it's just nice to see a bunch of young fellas give a shit. and try. Kind of reminds me of like the decade of darkness.
Well, you look at goaltending, bringing that up.
I shouldn't say a decade of darkness, but like,
Yeah,
you know,
no,
like
but looking at
06.
goaltending, are the Canucks in trouble for the first part of the season without Demko and Solovs?
I don't know, man. Like, that's a good question. I was just watching a little bit tonight, and Buffalo scored a goal. It was uh, who's the kid that went over there? Uh, Zadorov took a shot, and it was tipped in by that Swede that played for them in the playoffs last year. That they
Oh,
traded for Endholm or whatever.
Elias Lindholm?
Lindholm. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lindholm.
yeah. So the two guys that played for the Canucks, uh, they scored a goal together with the Bruins, and they showed last night on the captions there which players were out and which players were in, and it looked like Vancouver lost a lot more talent than they brought in, and
No, I agree. Vancouver and Edmonton took a pounding
yeah,
on the talent pool.
I don't think we did. We
Our
did on our
penalty
back
kill's
end.
not the same.
We did on our back end for sure. Yeah, our PK sucked last night. That's another thing. Like 2 goals against.
G
But
Harney, big kill, big part of that penalty kill.
Cycle Buster. We don't have that right now. So yeah, Fairfax. Um, yeah, like no. Anyway, like Vancouver. I don't think they're gonna have a year this year that they did last year. And yeah, they're gonna miss Demko, but uh, maintaining my point about team defense versus the quality of goaltending. Shilovs didn't look half bad last year in the playoffs, but they were playing on all cylinders and they were defending like fucking men on a sinking ship. So um, I don't know. I think it still comes down to the product on the ice more so than the goalie, in my opinion.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Okay, let's hear it, buddy.
Dwayne Rolson, 05-06. He wasn't a big goalie. He wasn't a great goalie. And his defense he's only had someone in front of him for 30 minutes at a time. How does
Yeah,
it
and he had
really?
Chris Pronger.
But for half the game.
Also, think about with Rolson, he got taken out in game 1, and we still made it to game 7, right?
Yeah, but we would have won it all.
You think?
I hope so.
Well, hoping doesn't matter. It didn't happen. Fuck.
In my
Like,
adult life, I've been through 2 Game 7 losses in the Stanley Cup final.
yeah, both after 1990.
I'm surprised not more people my age have had baths with toasters after the last Game 7.
Oh fuck! You know what's really weird is last year didn't feel as bad as 06.
Well, for me, it felt worse.
Really?
Yeah, but maybe it's because I went down to Dallas for a game and like went to a couple of home games and like was really like in it, and I saw like some emotion. I had some emotional wins. I was just in it, man, and like the whole trip to Dallas, our flight was canceled. It was an adventure.
Yeah. Well, you still have
But
that. It doesn't matter. But I'm just saying, like,
it hurt more. I thought it was the year. I thought it was going to happen because
you were more invested.
I just thought like I made it to everything I wanted to do. I just thought like they were going to do it, especially when they came back from 3-0, tied it up, and I'm like, man, and they won that game 6 so convincingly. Like,
I don't know. I'll tell you this. If you juxtapose that with like 06, we were the team that was not supposed to be there. And like those guys, those boys scratched and clawed their way to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. And there's just something about being an Oilers fan. And that was like 16 years since our last one. And that was really the first taste we got outside of round 2, in the same amount of time, maybe since 91.
yeah,
And you just kind of thought, fuck, man, like we defied the odds so much this year that I can't see us doing it again. Whereas this team that we have now, it's kind of like, well, we still have McDavid, we still have Draisaitl, we still have the main pieces. There's no reason why we can't do it again. So, it's kind of like a deferred loss or a deferred victory or whatever. But like in 06, it was like that was everything. Like even the guys on the ice knew it.
What do you think is going to happen Saturday night?
I think we're going to win. I don't think we're going to win by a lot. I hope that we iron out our game enough that we outscore our mistakes, because I think we're still going to make them. I got to tell you, I got a lot of faith in Paul Coffey as a defense coach.
Me too.
He really lets them play. Like I remember guys playing for Tom Rennie. It's like they'd make a mistake and they get fucking stapled to the pine, and then the next shift out a period later, they look fucking worse because they're gripping the stick tighter. Coffey's the kind of guy who goes, I have faith in you. Don't worry about the mistake. Move the puck. I like the risk as much as I like the reward. So I think that can really benefit a guy like Emerson. Everyone knows that Knobloch coached him in Hartford. So we know he's coachable. Hopefully he's got enough of a head on his shoulders. He's not going to get overburdened or overwhelmed. And with the right coaching and the right mentorship, maybe he can get us to the deadline. That's the optimist in me. Pretend I didn't watch that fucking game last night.
I like that Paul Coffey tells them don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see a hole again like last year. Like we won 24 in a row over 2 different winning streaks. Like that's the impossible.
Yeah, you can't rely on that shit anymore.
So
and again, like that commitment to and it's fucking boring and it sucks. Particularly like south of the red line, but you got to do it and you got to develop those habits early. It's just, I know how hard it is. And I feel like that's part of the problem. It's like it takes desperation for those guys to make that commitment. Otherwise, you're just like, you don't have to right now, do we? I don't know. I'm sure it's an oversimplification, but it's certainly, that's how it looked out there last night. And that's how it felt before Knobloch came in and our season was literally on the fucking line.
So I'm interested. So, and here's the kicker. We haven't even talked about this. The Blackhawks play in Winnipeg on Friday night.
I know. And Calgary plays on Saturday night too.
So there's no reason. I know you said we shouldn't beat the shit out of them, but we should beat the shit. It should be 5-1, 5-2. Maybe we go out and bury 10. I heard Reed Wilkins talking. He thinks the Oilers are going to score 10 twice this year. Why not tomorrow night? Or sorry, 2 nights from now. It's Saturday night.
And then they score 10 and he goes, I called it.
But he said twice.
Big fuck. Yeah. Just one more, fellas. It's going to happen. I called it. I fucking called it.
I'd take 10.
No, listen, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think any team makes that jump. I hope that we grow incrementally between now and when do we play after Sunday? Like, fuck, I don't know, like Tuesday. Anyway, I just hope that we make those steps. And again, like luckily,
Tuesday.
Luckily we have some soft competition and we don't get too big for our britches and we hunker down. The last thing I want to see, frankly, Tyler, is an abandonment of structure in favor of scoring 10 fucking goals. I'd actually be happier if we beat them like 2-0 or something. And we
I disagree. I think we need to see our forwards put some. We're built to be an offensive team. We don't have any defense. I think we need to see some goals start firing in the net quickly, get some confidence up. And I mean lots of goals.
Sure, but because we don't have
like
a good
10
defense, fine. But are you calling it?
No, I'm not. I'm saying 10.
No, but listen, like, because we don't have like really an NHL fucking defense core right now, or at least a fringe NHL defense core, we need to play better team defense. And so, like I said, I mean, I and I'm the last guy on earth that would turn his nose up at 10 goals for. But I would be happier.
Chris, put up six fingers. Put up 6 fingers right now. Chris, I'm doing an exercise.
I'd be
doing an exercise. No, I'm doing this for people watching. Put your 6 fingers in the air, okay? Put 6 fingers up. Do it for me. Put 6 up, buddy. Okay, well, when you have 6 and then there's 0, you're not going to win a hockey game. So I don't really care about team defense right now. Let's get the offense rolling, then go to defense.
For fuck's sakes, buddy. You're like,
We need
you're
wins.
Like, you're like, oh, you know what? We'll just outscore our mistakes. You need to develop those good fucking habits now.
I'm saying,
as I was saying,
we need to score early this season, get the confidence up, then build team defense so you can get some wins built up. You want to? What if we don't score goals for the first 5 games? Again, that's 6-0. Little exercise I tried to do with you, but you couldn't even put up 6 fingers. You're too stupid.
Oh, fuck off! Listen, I'd rather be Toronto last night than us because they lost 1-0.
Yeah,
They didn't
had
score
40-some
any goals,
shots.
but at least they can walk away and go. They never scored an even strength goal on us. We defended well. Let's use that in the next game. The offense will come if we maintain our commitment to team defense and outlet that puck and work on our transition game. Like, fuck, man. Like, fuck it. Like, I want to see 10 goals as much as the next guy. But as a guy who wants to see our team, like, win the conference in the regular season and get home ice in the playoffs, like, I need to see that commitment to team defense, particularly when our defensemen fucking by and large suck.
I don't think you're going to build team defense in game 2. I think you're an idiot for talking. I'm going to get goals. So I'm looking at the stat sheets from last night. Chris, stop talking. Stop, hands up. Faith, don't care. Last night, the Oilers had 3 players with no shots. McDavid, Hyman, and Mr. F himself, Ty Emberson. Like, if guys aren't scoring, if your leader's not scoring, I need to see 5-6 goals tomorrow. Care about team defense against Philadelphia on Tuesday. Against Calgary and Chicago, I want to see some run and gun. I want to see some goals.
How many shots did Bouchard get?
2.
Bouchard had 6 block shots.
No, get it through. Pull your head off your ass.
We started when we were talking about last night's game. I started by talking about how Winnipeg plays a very structured game. You saw that collapse last night. You saw them boxing guys out. You saw those perimeter shots that never got to the net. And it's like, you got to see shot attempts there too. I mean, those motherfuckers defend like beasts, and they're lying in front of the net, fucking 5 stacked. So if you go, this guy never had a shot, that doesn't mean he didn't try.
Yeah, but Connor McDavid had opportunities and he passed the puck to Hyman, who didn't even get a shot.
Yeah,
like you guys are getting. Hey McDavid, you want that $16 million a year next year? Get me a point every game, you sack. Just kidding. I love you, McDavid. Just kidding. Just kidding. Don't get mad.
Tyler's hangry.
No, I had 7 slices of pizza. I'm good now.
That's pretty good. Like, I barely noticed. Good for you.
Yeah.
No, like, you're way off the mark, man. Like, I don't even know. Like, how could you possibly fucking believe what you're saying right now? Like, I would have rather lost 1-0 and put together a pretty good defensive game.
Yeah.
Again,
but
for a shitty fucking.
But we didn't do that. So I'm reacting to us not doing that.
Oh, so let's outscore our mistakes.
Yeah, we got 30 shots and no goals, no points. Big fucking goose egg.
Like
be better.
Be better,
offense. Be better.
If we won 10-0, I'd be happy. But if we win 10-6, I'll be disappointed.
All right, well, let's get into our weekly segment now, Chris.
Yep.
It is. What you want to do me the introduction on this one, or do you want to do it? You know, I do a lot of the intros.
It's asshole of the week. Da-da-da-da.
All right, you have a nomination ready for us today?
You got one, Tyler?
I'll let you go first this time.
Oh my God. I don't want to get political, folks. But my asshole of the week is Barack Obama.
Okay, why? What do we got?
He's making the speeches now because the Democratic nominee for president of the United States in the election that's coming up in less than a month is not holding her own. So they bring out the Hall of Famers, and your man comes out and he says, "I'm not seeing a lot of energy from the brothers." And it's just like, okay, first of all, when did you ever spend time in the hood? And secondly, it's like, why would you make such a fucking divisive statement? You never saw BLM during the Bush administration. Like you never saw racial tensions flare up in the States until Barack Obama was president. He said, I could see Trayvon Martin being my son. If you're a leader for all people, you say, we hate to see that in our country, and we hope that our better angels, blah, 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 blah. You don't foment racial division by talking about how police on white, but like the only way you do that is if you're relying on division and you do want people to be divided. And he's reading from the same old handbook, the brothers, and like, fuck you disingenuous cocksucker. Like, let's just talk about how everybody cares about our country and we all want it to succeed. Let's not worry about dividing people. And then when it happens, don't complain because you're the very motherfucker that did it. That's my asshole of the week. Sorry for getting political, folks. Tyler?
My asshole of the week is the Las Vegas Golden Knights organization. They clearly targeted Calgary and Edmonton on the last really big busy day of waivers because they hate them. So they claimed 2 players, hoping to get one of them. They got them both because they didn't think that was going to happen. So then they had put Raphael Lavoie, who I really just care as a prospect now. I really could care less who gets claimed. I really don't care. So the Oilers can claim him back first, but then if another team claims him, he has to go on waivers again. So now they're just screwing with our cumulative salary cap because this guy keeps counting against the cap. So all they're trying to do is these teams are screwing the Oilers from gaining because the second team claimed him, by the way. So he's hitting the Oilers cap again. So these teams are playing this game because he keeps adding up to we can't get more cap dollars for accumulating more money.
Oh.
Yeah, because his salary is hitting the cap. So teams are doing this on purpose. This is a ploy for the Edmonton Oilers not to get – it's all Gary Bettman's doing. His ploy to keep Canada the Stanley Cup. So, actually, I'm changing my Master of the Week. Master of the Week is now Gary Bettman. His ploy is all because of Gary Bettman. He's getting Vegas to do this.
I don't think that he's at the controls here, Tyler, but
I think he is. Tyler Lockett got a touchdown, by the way.
Who did? Oh, fuck.
Tyler Lockett.
Oh, I just saw that. Fuck, my opponent's playing him tonight. No, I'm curious about that because nobody knows how to circumvent the cap better than the Knights, as they've proven. And so, by virtue of that, nobody would know how to fuck a team by the cap better than the Knights too. So
except for Gary Bettman.
No, just wait a minute. I didn't even think about this till you mentioned it, which is really weird because you're usually like miles behind me here. But are you saying that like my explanation for what they did is a little simpler, but none of us really know. But are you saying that they were looking forward to us being impacted by having Lavoie on our roster, like our active roster, even for a day? Like, what does that cost us against the cap having that guy?
Probably $125,000 when it's all said and done, or $200,000.
But he's making like league minimum.
Yeah, real money.
One day is going to cost you that much?
No, but that's a big dollar come deadline, man.
I know it is, but I'm just saying, like, that one day of having him, that can't be true. Because like
he's not one day, Chris, because we paid him today, paid him half of yesterday, and if we pay him tomorrow, so it's 3 days paid.
Actually, today is a day off.
Yeah, it sucks. I think they're trying to screw the invoice and their fans of the Stanley Cup.
You're breaking up there, Slick.
Sorry, the NHL's plan is to teach the Vegas Golden Knights and no cameras closed.
Why is your audio
back? There's back. Camera's back. No, Gary Bettman is teaching teams how to do this and screw the Oilers because he was so scared last year that he assigned the 2 referees for Game 7 who had only let the Oilers win one time all year with them working as partners. It's a fix. The fix is in. Gary Bettman is my asshole of the week, and he might be for the rest of the season.
Okay. I'm not sure. I can't agree with you on that because there isn't enough evidence. But I'll ask you this though: So another team made a claim. So the Oilers obviously claimed Lavoie back because Vegas waived him. Now, just
And another team claimed him again.
here's a little more reasonable, perhaps, explanation about what Vegas did. Because like you play fantasy, I play fantasy football. Um, you know how it is when it's like waiver week and you know where you are in the wire. Like it's a 12-team league and maybe you're 6, and there's a
No,
guy
I
you
use
want.
Fab, like a real league.
Whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter what app you use, shithead. Like
I use
my point is,
Fab dollars.
okay, whatever. Thanks for. Okay, do you want to tell everybody and explain it and say how great you are, or can I make my point?
No, it's fine. Make your point.
Like when it's waivers and you're like, oh, I hope I can get these 2 guys. I'm gonna make a claim for the guy I want first, and then I'll try. Well, like you don't know who's gonna pick who ahead of you or whatever. So like you throw as much muck on the wall as you can. You hope that you get one of them. If you get both, you just waive one of them. Like that seems to be a way more reasonable explanation. But having said that, I wouldn't put it past Vegas to be shitty just to see us get fucked. I think
I
that's a
have to
more
agree.
reasonable explanation. That sort of subverts your whole Gary Bettman.
I don't think so, man.
I think that me and most reasonable people would stick with Obama, but whatever. If you're listening, or if you've listened to this edition of TC Sports Talk, round 2, the triumphant return. Throw in your comments in the comment box if you like.
And subscribe if you want to hear us again and get notified. We are planning on being live next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We will
On
go
YouTube.
live until 8 o'clock when the Oilers face off against the Philadelphia Flyers. Puck drop should go down around either 8:07 or 8:17, but knowing the NHL, probably 8:17. They want to sucker you in for the last 6 minutes. Again, a Gary Bettman thing. Another reason he's an asshole. He blatantly lies on local radio here in Edmonton when asked about why they publish start times that say 8 o'clock, and they're always 8:17. He say, oh, no, it's 7 minutes, 5 minutes after the hour. It never is, Gary. Stop the lies. Make the production team start the productions at 7:40 like the NFL does. NFL kicks off at 11, 2:05, and 2:25 on time every week. They do the anthem before.
Yeah,
and the NHL can't figure that
out. So sort of getting back to this whole waiver thing in Lavoie. So
I thought we were done talking. I thought we were hanging up.
Oh well, you can do your little goodbye again. Like you can get the last word. Don't worry, Tyler. I think everybody knows what you're about now. It's been 57 minutes. You got a pretty good idea, my friend. Anyways, so if a team, I think they already said a team after us put in a claim for Lavoie.
Yep.
So
Colorado.
That's what necessitated us to waive him again.
And he's going to get claimed again tomorrow. I can't wait till tomorrow at noon. It's going to be funny.
So here's the thing, too, is that if Vegas actually does claim him.
It won't be Vegas. It'll be Colorado.
No, but this is what I read. Is that if Vegas does end up claiming him, they don't have to do this again.
No.
So he would actually go to the minors on Vegas's dime, or without them having to clear it again. So that's one way they could add to their organizational depth and have.
But Vegas won't be claiming. I don't think Vegas will claim him.
Yeah, everyone says Colorado, and I can see the reasoning, but you never know. Like, because bear in mind, they have to do it again. Like the reason we had to put him on waivers again.
We did today. He's on waivers today.
I know. The reason why we had to do that is because somebody after us made a claim.
Yeah.
And the question is, now it starts again. So maybe they just decided not to. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe, who knows? Like,
honestly, I just want him to see in the minors and see if he can become a player in the next 10 years. But
I think that, like, you know, we're one of the oldest teams in the league, and we can't rely on being this healthy like we have been for so long. The injury bug's going to hit everybody at some point. It'd be nice to have a little organizational depth to sort of help you out.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you know what I think is going to happen is when we become bad again in 10 years, then we'll start trading away players for picks. It'll make it all back. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, no shit.
My last word of the night, the Seattle Shithawks get beat at home by the San Francisco 49ers.
Is that game
We're looking for a miracle.
All right.
Yeah, and they don't get a first down here. Oh, they got a first down, but they still need 2 scores in 40 seconds with 1 timeout. Let
Well,
me tell you, folks, it ain't happening.
my flex RB has 10 points, so I don't care.
My
Or my
wide
flex
receiver 3
wide
got 14
receiver.
and a half. Yeah. And if you folks have any fantasy questions, I'm really good. Chris is not. I have a trophy. I have other wins. I'm
Fuck you.
I'm basically the greatest of all time.
Tyler's got the Shiva. Okay. All right. Well, listen, it's been fun. It's been a slice. It's been 7 for you. Um,
And we'll talk to everyone next Tuesday, 7:00 live.
and listen, thanks for joining us. We really
Yeah.
appreciate it. Likes
Thank
and
you. Thanks a
follows and
lot for
whatnot.
joining us. No problem. Thank you, guys.
We'll figure it all out. And
We'll figure out more details later. You bet, guys.
fuck you. Tuesday, 7. 1
Tuesday,
hour
7:00 Mountain Standard Time.
1 hour before puck drop against the Flyers. It's been a real slice for me. 7 for Tyler.
Join us next week, Tuesday, 7:00 Mountain Standard Time, folks.
Night, folks. Thanks very much. Take care of yourselves.
Always last word, Tyler. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for sharing your time with us. Good night.
Thanks for sharing us tonight. Yep, thanks, guys.
I wanna play